So I'd like to welcome all of you to this webinar series, the Embrace Aging webinar series, and it has been throughout the month of March, and I know that many of you are regulars and probably have been attending many of these. So we are pleased that you've joined us today for this one in particular, which I will introduce shortly. But I'm Kathy Rush. I'm a professor in the School of Nursing at UBC Okanagan, and much of my research has really focused on older adults and enhancing their health and health services equity in a variety of ways, but especially through technology. And so this particular webinar is near and dear to my heart, and I have been a part of it as well. But before beginning, I would like to respectfully acknowledge that UBC Okanagan is situated on the traditional, ancestral, unceded territory of the Syilx Okanagan Nation. And I would also like to acknowledge that you are joining us today from many places near and far, and acknowledge the traditional owners and caretakers of those lands. And do feel free to let us know where you are joining from. I think that you had a poll but if any of you wanted to, share that in the chat box, do feel free as well. So yes, this is the 10th annual Embrace Aging Month, so a decade of these wonderful events. And again, thank you for joining us. So Embrace Aging is co-hosted by the Institute of Healthy Living and Chronic Disease Prevention at UBC Okanagan, by the Interior Savings Credit Union and Interior Health. UBC Okanagan has joined the global network of age-friendly universities, formalizing its pledge to make UBC more accessible, intergenerational, and committed to research programs that are informed by the needs of an aging society. If you would like to know more about the Age-Friendly University Initiative, if you have suggestions for us or you would like to get involved, please contact the Aging in Place Research Cluster, and the website and the email information for you will appear in the chat box. So as I mentioned, Embrace Aging was launched 10 years ago to celebrate and raise awareness about positive aging, and has once again organized a number of educational opportunities throughout this month. The sessions are designed for everyone, young and old alike, and they focus on a variety of topics related to healthy aging and ways to improve quality of life among seniors and their family caregivers. Our goal is to inspire everyone to embrace positive aging. So I'd just like to remind you about the closed captioning box, which you can, I know some of you like to use that, and you can move it to your preferred place by clicking and dragging it to where you would like. And to turn off the closed captioning, you can also select the hide caption button on the menu bar if you would like to do that. We would ask that during the presentation, you would type your questions or comments for the speakers into the chat box, and the questions will be read at the end of the presentation. So today's event is featuring the topic, Empowering Rural Older Adults, Promoting Equitable Digital Engagement That Sticks. And our speakers are Dr. Cherisse Seaton, who is a research coordinator in the School of Nursing at the University of British Columbia, Okanagan, and Linda Fawcus, who is founder and CEO of the Gluu Society that supports older adults in digital skills learning, particularly directed at seniors. And the glue is making it stick. That's part of their motto. So, and Linda, I'm sure will tell you more about that as we move into this presentation. So Linda and Cherisse, I'm going to let you then take it away, and you have access to screen sharing. So please, we look forward to your presentation, and we'll look forward to asking questions at the end. So take it away.
Thank you, Kathy. I'll get us started here. So I just wanted to start by acknowledging our funding. Thank you, Kathy, for the wonderful introduction. As many of you know, Gluu Society, a Canadian nonprofit organization, has funding from the Government of Canada to offer free digital training program for older adults. And researchers at UBC partnered with Gluu and secured a Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council of Canada Partner Engage grant to find out how Canadian older adults are using the Gluu training. So despite the title, Empowering Rural Older Adults, we ultimately invited both rural and urban dwelling older participants to participate. So this project is currently in progress, and we have some preliminary findings from the study to share with you today. So a little more about our project team. Our multidisciplinary team includes researchers from nursing, management, sociology, and computer science, along with myself, the project coordinator, and Linda Fawcus, the founder and CEO of Gluu Society. We hope to integrate our strengths and expertise to evaluate the implementation of the Gluu program to build digital engagement among older adults. So to start, why digital skills training for older adults? Well, in Canada today, nearly every aspect of life is either optionally or necessarily navigated in digital terms. For example, online banking has become the norm in managing financial matters, and virtual care options are becoming increasingly more available. Unfortunately, there still exists a digital divide between younger and older adults, especially with respect to mobile devices like tablets, smartphones, and iPads. According to Statistics Canada, only 68% of adults aged 65 years plus used the internet in 2016, despite nearly all Canadians aged 15 to 64 using the internet. Yet the number of older adults engaging with technology has been steadily increasing, and rapidly emerging technologies are projected to be crucial for older adults to successfully age in place. Mobile devices offer advantages over PCs in a fixed location. For example, applications designed to remind users of upcoming appointments or when to take a medication are much more useful if implemented on a mobile platform that is carried with the user throughout the day. The COVID-19 pandemic drove a massive increase in the use of many technologies among older Canadians. Yet in a recent survey, more than half of older adults expressed an interest in learning more about how to use the devices that they had acquired. Enter Gluu Society, a Canadian nonprofit dedicated to providing older adults free digital skills training that sticks, hence its name. And in this project, we worked with Gluu to distribute and evaluate the Essentials courses. And so these are learning resources to help older adults use iPads and Samsung tablets, including print student workbooks, volunteer and online support, and live Q&A sessions. Participants, for the most part, had to have their own devices, though some participants had secured devices locally or through other organizations who are now interested in partnering with Gluu to deliver the training to how to use those devices that they acquired. So community organizations interested in partnering with Gluu to deliver digital skills training were sent print surveys in batches of 10 to 60, along with the print Gluu workbooks, either the Essentials to Samsung tablet or the iPad Essentials workbooks. Print surveys included postage-paid return envelopes addressed to send directly back to the university. We also then opened an online survey in the fall of 2022, and it was advertised on Gluu's Facebook page and sent through the BC Association of Community Response Networks, an organization with over 85 affiliates. Online survey participants were then individually mailed their preference of iPad or Samsung tablet Essentials workbooks. I'll let Linda tell you a bit more about Gluu later in the presentation. As for now, I want to tell you a little more about our surveys and responses of the older adults participants. So we had 274 baseline surveys returned. 85% were completed by females, 86% from residents of British Columbia. The mean age was 72 years old, and the majority of participants were white. We had a small pilot group complete our surveys in the fall of 2021 before we sort of launched more broadly. We had a second cohort begin in spring of 2022, and then a final larger group in the fall of 2022. Just over half of the participants completed the baseline survey online, and the remaining 45% returned our paper surveys by mail. So a little more about our participants at baseline. So to determine geography, whether they were rural or urban here, we asked participants for their postal code. Then we had used Canada Post's Find a Postal Code tool to determine what community name. And based on the census subdivision of the community, a score was assigned from Statistics Canada's Index of Remoteness. Now this index, the scores are based on population size and cost to travel to the nearest population center. Communities are categorized as urban if they're either easily accessible or accessible, and they were categorized as rural if they were less accessible, remote, or very remote, according to that index of remoteness Statistics Canada puts out. In terms of devices, as you can see in the second table, the vast majority of participants were using a desktop or laptop computer, but many were using other devices as well, which makes sense as this was a sample of older adults interested in taking Gluu's essentials courses. So at this point, I'll ask for Jaquetta's help. We thought it would be nice to get an idea of what everyone else in the audience is using by using a poll. So we'd like you to tell us how many apps you currently use, and then we'll show you how many apps our study participants reported using for comparison. So by apps or applications, we mean any of the little icons on your mobile device that allow you to do something. So including Chrome, Safari, and the camera app, all the little apps on your device. How many would you say that you're using? Let us know, and then we'll display the results in about give you about 30 seconds to do that, and then we'll let you know how many our participants were using. Thank you, Jaquetta. So hopefully you can see the results there. 5% not using any apps, but 84% using 8 or more. Actually is quite comparable to our findings. We only had 4.4% not using any apps and 53.5% using 8 or more apps. So we had a few more of our older adults that were sort of in the middle groups with the 1 to 3 or the 4 to 7, as opposed to the two extremes. Thank you, everyone. So in terms of some of the study variables that we included at baseline, we wanted to look at some of the rural and urban differences in these variables that we had included. And we had some validated measures with some references at the bottom of the table here for you if you're interested. But we did ask participants in their confidence in getting online and their confidence in identifying online frauds and scams. And urban participants had more confidence or self-efficacy for avoiding online frauds and scams compared to rural participants, but confidence in getting on was not significantly different between rural and urban. Urban participants also had more positive attitude towards technology in general, but negative attitude and loneliness did not differ by rural versus urban. And urban participants had higher mobile device proficiency overall compared to the rural participants. And the mobile device proficiency scale is our main outcome measure for the essential digital skills evaluation, because it's a measure of participants' skills with respect to mobile computing, using mobile touchscreen devices, such as smartphones and tablets and iPads, just what the Gluu print workbooks are designed to support. So the short form MDPQ asks respondents to rate their ability to perform a different operation on their mobile device, such as using a mobile device, I can navigate on-screen menus using the touch screen, on a 5-point scale ranging from never tried, 1 to very easily 5. And so you can see the averages on this table here of 3.7 for rural, 3.57 for rural, and 3.99 for urban. So slightly higher in our urban group of participants. To date, we now have had 130 participants complete our follow-up survey as well. And encouragingly, this mobile device proficiency has gone up significantly. So at baseline, these 130 had an average score of 3.978, and at follow-up, they're now at 4.144. So we've seen a significant increase in mobile device proficiency, at least in this subsample of 130 who've completed our follow-up questionnaires at this point. So that's very encouraging. And here's a quote from one of our participants highlighting the value they've received in the training. This training has helped to alleviate the mystery of technology. I now know that if I press the wrong button, I won't lose everything. So nice participant feedback that kind of helps explain this finding. People are finding it useful, which is great. Some more preliminary follow-up data. Although nearly all participants were using email at baseline, participants were going online to do the following activities more frequently at follow-up: sending and receiving emails, online shopping, online banking, and accessing government services online. Now, the graph here just shows you the proportion who selected any frequency above never, And you can see that at follow-up, there's a greater proportion of the sample engaging in each of these activities. Finally, preliminary participant feedback on the Gluu training is positive, with 87% reporting being satisfied with Gluu digital skills training. 82% learn new things about their device. 78% learn new things about digital security. 77% of participants agreed or strongly agreed that the workbook was important for their learning. And 68% were more likely to use technology to support their aging in place plan in the future after taking the digital skills training. Now I will turn it over to Linda to tell you a little bit more about Gluu and what they are currently up to.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me as part of this conversation. The work that UBC has done to help us understand how our materials are actually getting used has been invaluable to us. We know by talking to our audience that the workbooks are important, that the work we're doing is important, and people want free access to high quality digital skills learning resources without any ads, without any strings attached financially. So that's what Gluu does. I'm Linda Fawcus, as Cherisse said. I'm the founder of Gluu Society, and Gluu is a Canadian nonprofit that's here to do that thing. That one thing is to help older Canadians, anybody born before 1964, figure out how to use the technology that's in their life, to be able to enter a digital life that is secure, and to live with confidence knowing that you can use technology to support your aging in place plans and your life goals and just feel part of the modern world. So we do this by working hard to get grant funding, which is, as anybody out there who works with nonprofits or volunteers with organizations, you'll know that that's a challenging thing to do, but I'm happy to say we are pretty good at it. You hear my voice cracking with the nervousness of that statement. We are pretty good at it, and I have two great projects to tell you about in a second. So if you can advance the slide, Cherisse, I'll start talking about what we've got going. Oh, sorry, just a second. Let me just change my view here, just a second. There we go. Okay, so the first project, super exciting. We have, I should go back one slide for me, Cherisse. Sorry, people, we're at the beginning of my slides. Okay, cool. So we've received funding from Innovation, Science and Economic Development Canada. That's a mouthful. We had a project from them funded 4 years ago. We have received a second round of funding, and that is the money that has helped us figure out that these print workbooks are so important. We figure out how to write them, how to publish them, how to distribute them across the country, and how to create material that people need to increase their basic digital skills. So the Gluu Digital Skills for Life program is an extension of that project. I'm so excited that we got funded again, more money than we got last time because we only got a small fraction last time. And that project ended at the beginning of this year. So we are now funded until March 2025. So that's huge. That means we are able to create more printed workbooks. We are able to train volunteers to help community members learn how to use their devices. And we're also able to incorporate more digital security training into our work. So this is big. The other big addition here is that we are finally able to create a proper online learning platform that is supported by tech support staff at the Gluu end. I never have wanted to create an online learning platform until we had money to actually have a help desk, and now we do. So that's exciting. More information on that is going to roll out. We just signed the agreement today, so we're going to start rolling out more information in the next few weeks about that. But I encourage you to head over to our website. You'll see contact information in a bit. Sign up for a free membership. That's how you're going to get information from us. Do reach out by email. I'll give you that contact later. So that's the Gluu Digital Skills for Life program. Really exciting and a continuation of the work that we've been doing with UBC. And we're going to be integrating these studies, these UBC studies, into this project even more deeply so that we really understand the impact these materials are having. And we know that these hard-earned taxpayer dollars are making our country better. We are improving the life of Canadian seniors, and we are helping them be part of the digital world. So the studies with UBC are critical for that. Okay, one more slide, Cherisse. Okay, so the next project, which I'm super excited about as well, is the Hey Internet project. And this one is a little bit outside of the box, but hold with me here for a second. So what we're doing is a learn and loan program to allow Canadians 55 plus borrow a smart speaker, basically. It's a smart home display. And they borrow the speaker, the smart home display, for 6 weeks. We have volunteers and printed material who are going to show them how to set it up and use it, or we can set it up and for them. And this is going to help old people figure out, is a smart home display a piece of technology they want in their home to support their age at home plans? I think the answer is going to be yes, but a UBC study is going to help us understand that. This is a device, it's basically a tablet that sits on top of a smart speaker. For this project, we've gone for the Google Nest Hub Max product, which is a 10-inch screen that sits on top of a smart speaker. It is completely voice controlled. So you don't touch the screen to find apps and do things. You just say, start a video call, play some music, look for some recipes, show me my photos, remind me, what's on my calendar today, those sorts of things. So as we're all probably understanding, this voice activated world we're walking into is going to be a really big way we interact with our devices. Every major tech company on the planet knows that, and they are working to give us seamless and easy to use interfaces to use our voice to control our environments. And this smart home display is one of the products that's going to let us do that. Now, you can still do this kind of thing, control your environment, talk to your device, of course, if you're using a smartphone or a tablet. But why this project I think is so interesting is because it doesn't require someone to know how to use a tablet. So somebody who's uncertain about using a tablet or doesn't have easy access to a smartphone, they can just have this sitting on their desktop or their kitchen counter or their table somewhere, and just within the environment, just start asking questions and have things happen with their voice. And we are printing prompt cards to help people understand how to really get the most out of the device. So if at the end of 6 weeks, the participants decide, hey, this is something that I really like, I really want, I want to bring this into my home, they can purchase one. We will give them a list of retailers that that we know sell them at reasonable prices. And then they send our device back. So it's a 6-week trial process to see, is this tech you want in your home? And I'm a firm believer of, let's experience the tech before we decide if we want it. Right? So this gives you 6 weeks with volunteer support and printed materials to figure that out. This is going to be a very small cohort. We didn't get a lot of funding. This is through the New Horizons for Seniors program. So we're really limited on the number of people we can bring into this test. I am super excited though to see the interest people have in this learn and loan concept. And if we do get some interesting testimonials and we do have people telling us they want it, I will do what I can to get us more money to make this a bigger program. So this is our first pilot test of this program. So if you're keen on joining that, jump onto the page. You can see the link there. It's just going live today, so be patient with us if there's a few glitches in that page. You'll see my contact information at the end of the presentation. You can email me if you have an issue. Yeah, so jump on board that. That's a really exciting project. Thanks to New Horizons for Seniors for making that happen for us. That's for seniors 55 plus, sorry, Canadians 55 plus nationwide. Doesn't have to be specifically limited to British Columbia. Okay, next slide. What else do we have happening? Okay, we have how to be unscammable. This was the bane of my existence in the beginning of the year. We were generously funded by TELUS StoryHive. Sorry, beginning of the year. That was last year. Time is flying over here. TELUS StoryHive funded me to create a 10-episode TV series called How to Be Unscammable. And each episode teaches older adults how to stay one step ahead of cyber criminals, how to secure your digital life in 10 episodes. So that is streaming now on our YouTube channel. You can see the link there. You could also search for it on your TELUS Optic TV if you're a TELUS customer. It's on demand. You just have to type in unscammable and you'll find it. So this was our first step into TV programming. And the reason I pushed us to get funding into the television space, the broadcast space, is because a lot of people want to learn how to use their device, but they only have one device. And it's really hard if you have someone on the phone telling you to do something on your device to listen and then tap on your screen. It's hard to watch a video on that one screen to teach you how to do something and then remember what the video said and then use the device to learn that new skill. That's why the printed workbooks are useful. You have this other screen, this page to look at to go step by step through instructions to learn something new. In this example, we're using the TV as that second screen. Here are the step-by-step instructions. We didn't quite achieve that with the TV show. It's not quite as step-by-step-y as I would like, but we couldn't make it device specific, right? If you're a Samsung user, you're not going to watch a TV show about how to use your iPad. So it's very device agnostic, this show, but it is jam-packed with information about the 10 areas of your digital life you need to secure and how to do that. It's a lot of information. That's the feedback, is it's hugely overwhelming amount of information. And I knew that would be the case, but we just wanted to get it out there. And we're working on a how to be unscammable course that is device specific that will break down these steps in step-by-step instructions. But here's a great start. So check out how to be unscammable if you want to increase your digital security, which I suggest we all do. Next slide, please. So what we've done is we've taken the takeaways of today's digital security tips, resources, news, and information, and we put them into a newsletter that's starting to go out bi-weekly. It was a monthly newsletter, but we received additional funding to make this a bi-weekly newsletter. So this is the place you go to get sign up for a newsletter that's going to help you stay on top of how to stay secure in your digital life, focusing on those 10 areas that the Unscammables series looks at, which is your entire digital life. So if you want information, timely, trusted, tested, and expert verified information in your inbox, head over to sign up for the Unscammable newsletter. And I see I didn't put the link on the slide there. That's my bad. Go to gluesociety.org and you can see the How to Be Unscammable page at the top, and you can head over there to sign up for that. Okay, next slide. Oh, yay. Any questions? So we do have other things happening, and the way you're going to learn about other things happening at Gluu, as I said, is to go get that free membership. So sign up for that. It's over at Gluu Society. It's right on the main landing page. Get your name onto our mailing list. And now that we have funded, we've got money coming in the door, we can start communicating with people and getting these programs rolling, which is super exciting. And you're going to hear about that from us as a member if you're on our list. So you got to sign up for that if you'd like to hear from us by email. If you want to see what we're doing on social, there's our social media handles there. And there's the link to our YouTube channel, which right now only has How to Be Unscammable on it. You can send an email to hello@gluesociety.org. And if you'd like, again, to see our unscammable materials, you're just going to gluesociety.org/unscammable. So I'll leave this slide up as we look at if anybody has any questions for me. Let me take a look. I need my glasses for that. So I don't see any questions. So I'll let Jaquetta let me know if there's any questions out there. So that's Gluu. Lots happening at Gluu. Lots will change with Gluu. We're constantly writing grant applications. We're constantly looking for new ways to get digital skills resources funded. Print materials are super expensive to fund. But a lot of people think print materials aren't necessary. Well, you saw in the slides that people think they are necessary. So we continue to fight. Even though I prefer everything to be digital in my life, we know that print-based materials are the way a lot of people like to learn, and those are useful materials to have when you're trying to figure out your device, right? It's so important to get those foundational skills done. I'm going to type in the, put my glasses back on to make sure I don't type it in wrong. So here's the link to the unscammable page. There we go. Okay. And for those of you who signed up and you haven't heard from us, we don't generally communicate to our entire list all at once. There's a bunch of technical reasons why we don't do that. But we are, now that we have this new funding rolling in, we are going to start to be communicating with specific parts of our list, eventually getting to everybody. So if you haven't heard from us in a while, you will be hearing from us very soon, certainly by the end of next week. In the meantime, you can get a hold of me on those contact links here. That's it. Okay. Thanks for listening.
Great. Thank you very much, Cherisse and Linda. It's great to hear about a little bit of the preliminary research findings, as well as what Gluu was doing, and how we're working together to try and support making it all better as we move along, like Linda says, to improve the digital life of older adults. So so I don't think I have any questions here, but we would love to hear your questions, questions from the audience. I would be interested actually in hearing from our audience participants about whether you have actually engaged in any formal digital training, whether it's Gluu or another digital training program. So just curious if anyone, is willing to share, and maybe even what your experience has been like related to that. We have a quiet group today. You know of anyone, I guess, do you know of anyone like in your world, right, who has done some digital training or could benefit from digital training? So Marianne has taken a few classes at the Apple Store. And what was that like? And Judy, okay, I've taken several of Linda's online workshops and have found them very useful. That's great, Judy. Thank you for sharing that feedback. And Deborah, I've also taken a few classes from the Apple Store a long time ago. Was it, I'm just curious as to whether the Apple Store classes, they were in person, and were they hands-on, that type of thing?
I'm in Vancouver here. We have a nice brand new Apple Store downtown at Pacific Center. Those courses there are great. They're free. It can be a very loud environment, so just scope that out if you're considering signing up for some, just to make sure you can comfortably hear, or get there early enough to sit right beside the teacher. But they have loads of topics. They dive, of course, only into Apple products, but you can learn a huge amount from them, and you can ask them a lot of questions. So definitely it's a great thing to do if you're an Apple person. And don't forget Apple people as well. If you have Apple Care Plus, or if you have a new device, you can call Apple anytime and they will answer your questions. They're amazing. Again, Apple products only, but they actually pick up the phone and they do a great job of online tech support. So I do encourage anybody considering buying an Apple device to look into that Apple Care Plus warranty, because to have 2 years of being able to just call them and say, hey, I can't find my photos, or why is my iPad doing this weird thing, or whatever, they pick up the phone, which seems shocking to many people, but they do.
Great, Linda. Yeah, so Betty says that she's taken classes that have helped, taken Gluu classes, which have helped with confidence, and that certainly is consistent with what we have been finding as well. Betty, thank you for that. And others that have taken your classes as well, and courses in beekeeping certifications. Beverly has. And Lois says her grandkids are her best resource. Yes, they are often excellent resources.
Kathy, can I ask a question of everybody?
Yes, absolutely.
I would love to know what the participants' thoughts are on bringing AI, artificial intelligence tools into your digital life. We're starting to dive into that topic here at Gluu and teach you how to use AI in a really useful way and how to learn how to trust it and what tools there are out there. It's, as you're probably hearing in the news, there's a lot happening with artificial intelligence. It's coming to a search bar near you now. If you're a Microsoft user, other browsers have it incorporated. It's coming. So I just love to know if anybody out there is using artificial intelligence yet and what they think of it.
So there have been lots of comments from people who have taken your classes, Linda, and some who have used Apple Store and concur with some of your comments about loudness, but and it wasn't actually particularly hands-on.
Yeah, and I see Marianne's comment about using Chat GPT. That's the artificial intelligence through the OpenAI company. Yeah, great tool. And as a writer, I use it often as well. But there's some really cool creative tools out there for artificial intelligence as well, if you're interested in diving into that. But we will come out with more of that info from Gluu. I was just curious if anyone out there was super excited or super freaked out. I think we should probably all be, I don't know if freaked out is the word I should use, but I'm a little freaked out. Every day I'm hearing stuff in my newsfeed coming in and in my emails. It's like, oh my gosh, today is another advancement. It's really fast moving stuff. Yeah. There's the question about the, definitely you can sign up for the Google Nest Hub Max. That link works right now. There might be some weird spacing issues on the page, but go to that link right now and sign up if you like. If you can't, for some reason, get to that link, just email me. We'll leave the contact slide up at the end. Linda, share that with your friends.
And there seems to be a lot of interest in AI, but can you maybe elaborate a little bit more on AI? There's a question about AI meaning. Artificial intelligence meeting in Beverly. I'm not sure if that's what it is or.
AI is artificial intelligence. So these are the tools that are coming out that are using artificial intelligence to help us get immediate answers to questions. For instance, think of the AI and the Chat GPT is the conversational AI or artificial intelligence technology you're using. And you're basically, a lot of people are using it like they're going to ask a question. I've just drawn a blank on what a question would be. Basically, any question you might have, and you will get an answer back. So when you're using something like Google search, you ask a question. It's called a search engine, right? The clue's in the name. It searches for an answer and it gives you the best chocolate chip cookie recipe. It gives you 16 million possible answers to your question. Chat GPT or these chatbot artificial intelligence technology, you're asking the question and it's giving you one answer. So it's super great because you have one answer, but is that answer accurate? Not always. Where does the answer coming from? How is that? Yeah, so there's a lot of conversations to have around that, but that's basically what chat artificial intelligence is doing. You ask a question, you get an answer, rather than a search engine, which is you ask a question, you get 16 million answers.
You can see some other usages as well, Linda, here. Margaret using it to write a small essay recently and finding it helpful, and Marianne writing condolence letters, birthday cards, and so on.
Yeah, and dive into the DALL-E. I'll just put it down here. It's DALL-E. That's really cool creative tech. You can create drawings and photorealistic images, and it's incredible what the DALL-E, this is artificial intelligence creating images based on your prompts. I took a picture of my son and husband and dog on a cliff. We were at Lighthouse Park, if you know the area, and they're looking out over the ocean, and I prompted DALL-E, the AI, to create that image for me. I didn't use the image. I just said, give me a picture of two men looking over a cliff. I described where we were, and I described my dog, and it gave me, and I had them painted in the style of Monet. It came back incredibly accurate. No, that's just on my prompts, just on my words. So you don't just have to be doing writing, which is amazing. You can also create images, but the writing is a really good one. Marianne's comment about condolence letters, birthday wishes, even email sign-offs, you know, have a nice day. I was having a blank. I wanted a unique, a different sign-off. And I just asked the AI for some ideas on that. So yeah, getting those prompts from the AI just to kind of get you started on your own writing. And of course, as all teachers worldwide are freaking out, you can also write an incredibly detailed essay.
Yeah.
and
that's us concerned.
Yep.
That's our concern.
Yeah, the AI now is so good that it's in the top 10% of the LSAT tests, and it can pass medical school tests. And so, yeah. That's AI.
Excellent. Thank you for everyone for sharing so much. Good question, Linda. Yes. So are there any other questions that people might have of Linda or Cherisse?
I'd like to thank all our study participants too, making it possible for us to do this research and these studies, and encourage you all to look for our future links. As Linda said, you know, we'd like to keep integrating studies into the work she's doing and really gathering the feedback from the people using the resources so that we can A, make them even better, and B, move away or towards the things that are working and the things that aren't working, right? So thank you everybody who's participated.
Yeah, that's actually, I'll just jump on top of that conversation as well, because what we've been doing at Gluu is we've created these essential courses that these are basically what I know after tens of thousands of people and thousands of hours of teaching. These are the skills we all need to have. But we're at a stage now where we're going to stay with the essentials and we're going to start adding on to those. So if you have topic areas you want to learn about, the way to do that now is to get into our loop and start telling us what you want. So we're finally moving away from us prescribing what you should learn and trying to integrate what you want to learn into the materials we're creating. If we don't have funding to create that thing you want, we'll let you know, but maybe it's worth it. We send a poll out there and we find out other people want it and we try to find funding to make it. So this conversation about digital literacy is not just about basic skills. It needs to be about how we all jump on board all of this new stuff that's coming, because there's so much technology coming and that's here now that is going to really help us live independent, connected, and healthier lives. And we need to be inspired to use it, and we need to not be afraid to use it. And there's some good reasons why we should be uncertain about using it. But together we can get answers and at least decide what we like. That's what I like about the Google Hub Max project. See if you like it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Now you know, right? So yeah, throw us your desires, what do you want to learn? What do you want to hear about? What do you want to understand? And we're happy to read those and incorporate them into what we're doing.
Great. I guess I have a question for our audience participants as well, is how much do you use your mobile devices, the technology for healthcare? That's just of interest to us because that's the space that I work in largely. So we're just curious about how you see the potential really for the technology really to support your healthcare. We've been very accustomed to in-person care. We love our in-person care. So just curious as to if anyone, thinks that it's worthwhile to be able to use technology for your health care. If anybody wants to, certainly don't feel that you have to, but yeah. Thanks, Jaquetta. You prefer not to. Mm-hmm.
I love the doctor's office. I love doing a virtual visit. My husband is hopeless at getting on a virtual doctor's call. There's always a problem with him getting on the call. He finds it very frustrating, and he says, I'll just go into the office. So It's not always easy to get on those calls, but I personally love having access to the doctor right from my desk.
Mm-hmm. And Deborah, are you saying you prefer not to use technology, or you prefer not to go into the doctor's office? Can you just clarify that? Because some people do prefer to see their physician in person and have good reason for that. We each have our individual preferences. So BC Health Portal is amazing. Yes. Yes. Okay. So your preference is not to go into the office. Okay. Unless necessary. And I guess one of the things that we hear a lot from our, a lot of older adults and people that we talk to about their health services or healthcare is that a lot of their doctors do it by phone. And so there isn't as much of the videoing as particularly in some rural communities, but in urban communities as well. So the phone is different certainly than a video conference or being able to see your primary care provider. We have a comment here, Linda, from Marianne. But healthcare, I'm not 100% comfortable with it online. And in Alberta, I can link my Alberta ID card to my CRA. Yeah.
You know, Marianne, yeah. So this is tough. Here's the reality. As we put our information online within apps the government creates with the products and services we use, we know that our information is at risk, right? Cyber criminals are trying to steal it. There are super smart people out there trying to do this as we speak. But we can't get bogged down in the fear of that because the world is moving online. So what we have to do is we just got to get really a good handle on our digital security so that when we're using these services, we're making sure that we're using the verified apps from the government in the case of healthcare, and we're going to trust the government, they're going to create apps that are secure and can't be hacked, fingers crossed. Be aware if we're talking about healthcare, about using an app that's built by a developer, you're not sure who they are, right? So you need to research the developers who are making the apps that you're giving your data to. But we do have to just get in the habit of understanding how we can stay safe online and sign up for all these apps and things we want to use. Like Judy's saying, I love going to my hairdresser and booking all of that online, and they have some of my information to do that. Mm-hmm. So check out Unscammable. I can't remember which episode it was, but 6 or 7, but check it out. For instance, using a throwaway email address, making sure you're not giving away your personally identifiable information. Every time you sign up for something, you don't need to give your real name, right? You don't need to give your complete or your last name. Be aware of who actually needs your phone number, because a phone number is a valuable piece of data for a cyber criminal. And it's, as we know, a nightmare to change your phone number. So get good at not giving out your phone number unless you have to. Have a throwaway email address you can use for all of those kind of signups. So when that email address is stolen, and it's going to get stolen online through a hack somewhere, that is not necessarily going to affect your financial accounts and your health and medical accounts. So we just need to be smarter, a lot of us, about what information we're giving out and how we're siloing our online lives. And right now our emails are controlling that, right? Your email is your username. So consider how many email accounts you have, and can you use more email accounts to separate out your digital life so that the data these people are getting access to isn't your whole treasure trove of information. And then the last little nag on that is using unique email addresses is good, but you have to be using strong, unique passwords on every single online account you have. Just going to say that one more time. If you have 30 online accounts, that's 30 different passwords, completely different passwords. Not like Maui 2017 and then Maui 2018. That's not a different password. So simplify your life and get a password manager. If you have a password manager that's protecting your accounts with long, strong passwords, and you're using more than one email address, you've gone a long way to protecting yourself online And then you're going to get really stingy about what personally identifiable information you share and where you share it. Sometimes you have to, a lot of times you don't. So consider those factors. The Unscammable series will walk you through it as well. But that's going to help us. We can't hold back the tide. You're living a digital life. Let's just live a healthy, safe, and productive and connected digital life. And we can do that with some good basic digital security tips. Apple's, the question is Apple's keyword? No, it's not. The question is Apple's iCloud keychain enough to keep us safe? That's a password manager that's built into the Safari browser over at Apple. And I love that tool. I use that in the Chrome one often. It's not enough though. It's just not enough anymore. You got to migrate to a proper password manager. It's just for a bunch of reasons I won't get into here, but see if you can find your way to upgrade to a password manager. Again, Unscammable will show you which ones we recommend. And they have free options, right? You don't have to pay for this. I pay for a family membership that covers myself, my husband, and my son, because I don't want the hassle of thinking about their digital security. So they have to use the password manager, and I know that they're secure when they use it. So it's $60 a year or something. I'm very willing to pay that to keep us all safe, but there's free ones out there that you can use too. You don't have to pay for it. So if you're using a browser-based password manager, consider, awesome, by the way, well done. You're ahead of most people. See what you can do to upgrade yourself to a proper password manager. And then check out the tools you can use there, right? You can store your credit cards securely, your passport, your other important medical health records can be secured. So if you're traveling, you'll have always access to that kind of information when you're using a proper password manager. So consider upgrading to that. Last comment on passwords out there, because I know we could talk about this all day. LastPass is a popular password manager. LastPass, don't use it. They've had 2 breaches in the last year. It's just a general recommendation from security experts that you don't use it. If you're using it, you should move over to another password manager. So 1Password is a great one, Dashlane, but head over to Unscammable for that info, or just Google it. But I just throwing it out there that LastPass is one you should stay away from.
And if Linda has sold you on the Unscammable series and you're interested in that, then please consider completing our survey before you head over there. Or even if you've already watched some of the Unscammable, you can still join our survey at UBC. So that link I put in the chat should take you to our Qualtrics survey to tell us.
Yeah, so survey first, and then we can survey you at the end. That's how we know if this stuff is any good, right? That's how we know how it's impacting your life. So thank you for doing the surveys. Thanks, Cherisse, for putting that link up there. Really important that we have data, right? We need to know if we're making an impact. And the data is how these brilliant scientists do smart things with the information we give them. We're giving our information to everybody else. Let's just make sure UBC gets it as well. So there's the survey link.
That's great. Well, I think I see the time here, and we'd be happy to take another couple of questions if anyone would like to ask sort of some final questions. It's been a great participation. Thank you all for joining in on all of these questions that we've been asking. It's been very, very informative, and we hope it's been informative for you as well. I know some of you know Linda, so it's nice to be with her again during this time. So I think I will just then thank Cherisse and Linda then for your your participation today, and for a certainly very stimulating presentation, and for everyone who has attended the webinar. We really appreciate you making the time, and we encourage you to attend the other remaining events until the end of this month. And please visit our website, OkanaganEmbraceAging.com, for all the events and registration. And I guess because all of you have participated today, you already know where that site is, but this is the last few days of the events. So we look forward to growing this event in the Okanagan and encourage anyone interested in supporting Embrace Aging in the future to please contact us. And the contact information is available on the website. And you will receive an email with a link to an online evaluation form, and we would very much value everyone's feedback and suggestions for planning Embrace Aging events in the future.
Great to see you all.
Yes.
Thank you.
So thank you, everyone, and have a great day. Spring day. Hopefully it's sunny where you are.
Thank you for listening. Thanks for having us.